1 second. And this way. Okay. Okay, hi, Cassie. I'm very happy that you agreed to join this podcast. And by the way, I dressed today in black because you know why I dressed in black?
I don't.
No idea. Okay, I'll tell you later. And so I would like to present a wonderful speaker and a businesswoman with a lot of credentials and a lot of achievements and very special guest of mine. And I'm going to read this bio. So Cassie Miller from United States is a leadership coach and business transformation advisor. She has held numerous senior operations executive roles, including plant operation manager, general manager, global vice president, and global director at General Motors, Delphi Automotive Systems, Parker Hannifin, Rolls-Royce, and Vertiv Corporations. Impressive. Cassie holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial System Engineering from Kathryn University, sorry if I pronounce a little bit wrongly, and a master degree on business administration from Ball State University and master degree in applied positive psychology from the University of Pennsylvania. I took some courses from University of Pennsylvania as well. Cassie is a Shapiro Prize recipient for large business as a plant operation manager in 2004 and was introduced into the Women in Manufacturing Hall of Fame in 2021. Cassie has an ACC coaching certification from the International Coaching Federation, and she is co-author with Shannon Carroll's on Stilettos and Stilettos, a true story of women manufacturing and lean transformation success. And the book was published in 2021 and actually can find it on Amazon. And I'll provide later information about video links to Amazon and some pages of this wonderful writers. Cassie uses her extensive senior leadership experience to work with individuals, team, and companies who want to achieve improved performance results through proven manufacturing processes, sound leadership principles, and the science of human flourishing. And when I actually read about Cassie, my first thought was, wow, what women in manufacturing can do. So this is the name of our podcast. So welcome, Cassie, and I'm very happy to have here and to discuss with you some important topics because we are women and we actually run businesses and we're leaders. So thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, I'm very happy to be here.
Today, we're going to talk about principles you use in your coaching. And I found very interesting words, like combination of words, lean basis, lean transformation, and some others, which we're going to talk later. So can you explain what do you mean about lean basis? Because first I thought about lean body. But anyway, so can you tell more about this lean basics and lean transformation? What do you mean when you coach people?
Well, that's a great question. So lean manufacturing has been around for a number of decades now, and it's based on the Toyota production system. And basically, you're trying to shorten the lead time between when a customer orders something and you produce a perfect product for them. So you want to do it at the rate of their demand. Traditional manufacturing is based on batch processes where you create a lot of products and you're pushing them through the system. Where in lean, you're trying to match the flow and reduce the waste. And that's what leads to excessive lead times. So lean is just about creating customer value at the rate at which they're pulling it. And so it involves a lot of techniques, problem solving, flowing, pulling value through an operation versus pushing it. It's based on respect for people and the operators and the people who are experts at what they do instead of decision making at the top, and being pushed through the organization. So some very good principles that help companies be more profitable and their environments be more inclusive.
Are these basics stable, or are you expanding them or changing them through the time and dealing with people?
So typically when I start a transformation, and I've led hundreds of transformations in many different countries all over the world in different roles, either as a direct leader or an influencing leader who owned lean basics. And what we did with that was made sure that we articulated the vision and how things would be different in the future, and make sure that people understood as a leader your commitment to a better future and their role in it. So sometimes in traditional manufacturing, people have very specific roles that they play, whether they're a machine operator or a quality engineer or a supervisor. And when you're implementing a more inclusive manufacturing environment, you want to give people the opportunity to contribute from a place of strength, and not just their hands, but their heads and their hearts as well. And so many times as a leader, I would almost have to force that by having people participate on teams that they hadn't before, because many times people weren't used to being asked their opinions, not only about their job, but how the plant runs and how people treat each other. So I'd require people to be on teams to contribute. And after a while, when people found out that we did value their opinion, that if they tried something and it didn't work out, it didn't mean that they were going to lose their job. It was a psychologically safe environment. People came through with so much enthusiasm and so many great ideas that it really accelerated all of the business metrics, because people were helping to solve quality problems. Were helping us see impediments to flow. They were supporting each other. They were solving problems without sometimes members of high management being involved, right? They were responsible for their areas. So those were the types of things that we did to create these lean environments that were inclusive.
Thank you. What surprised me the most, how the positive psychology changed the perception of people, because psychology before was more like, private, like what we think, how our emotion in our private life. So nobody look at the person, that a person works somewhere and running the business. And the huge part of the life goes like, we spend our time working and making money. And now in positive psychology, we have a huge branches of career psychology, business psychology, leadership psychology. And I know like it's expanding, because even psychologists, they start looking at the person as a whole. And what you're doing, you as a leader and a businesswoman, you're also looking for improving the relationships between your customers, between team members, and between leaders. And it's wonderful because it makes our life complete. Like we're not just like, people who sitting at home and crying about some failures, right? But even if we have some misunderstanding, let's say at work, have bad relationship at work, or our business is not flourishing, then we have to analyze, but from business perspective, not just like from human being perspective, right? And this is what you're doing, and I'm happy that you're helping women, because even your book about women in business, right, in manufacturing business, which is rare. It was rare before, but now probably you see this type of woman more often, right? Because we want to be more independent. We want to express ourselves, who we are, and I understand. And I would like to talk about your book, and why you choose this name of the book.
Oh, Steel Toes and Stilettos. Yeah.
Yes.
So we chose that for a number of different reasons, but for the main reason that, the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can wear your steel toes, which, is the stereotypical shoes that you would wear in a
Yeah.
plant, and still be your authentic self as a female or whatever identity group you identify with. So, Shannon and I, this is a true story where I was a general manager and Shannon was my lean transformation leader. And we were transforming 3 plants from batch manufacturing to lean manufacturing and putting an inclusive environment in place. And as Shannon and I were reflecting on our time together and why we got so many results, we just realized we had a great story, and it might be unique because manufacturing is still very male dominated in many of the leadership positions. And so we thought it would be interesting to those who are aspiring to be in leadership in manufacturing to hear it from the perspective of 2 women. And it's a business book, but it reads like a novel. And so you'll hear about our journey from my perspective as a general manager, Shannon's perspective working as a member of my staff as we went through the transformation. And, we kept it light. And we also included the stories of our personal friendship and our personal journeys because of what you talked about. We are whole people. We're not one particular person at work and another person at home. And so, we wanted to get that story into the world so that we could help people, just if they want to know how to do a lean transformation, but B, aspire to these leadership roles in a non-traditional, environment for women.
Yes, we still live in a world of men.
Mm-hmm.
When it's coming to the business, and it's nothing bad, but we are facing a lot of obstacles because of this. And our society is still adjusting, especially men part, adjusting that we cannot stay at home and taking care of the family only. And it's different time. And that's why we want to do something that men did before, and women never were allowed to do. Even in medicine, I was surprised that women were not allowed to go to university to become doctors. And in sport, if I look through the history of sport, women couldn't participate in any like games and the sport events because they were women. So we changing the world step by step. We try to adjust our men to who we are. And this you do what you do. Do you know why I'm dressed in black?
I would like to know.
Because you're dressed in black like professional business woman. And you had black stilettos like one of you, right? And I said, I have to look like this. I don't have my stilettos, I have just regular shoes. Because honestly speaking, been in quarantine for so many years, well, 2 years, and I stopped wearing any high heels shoes. And I even forgot if I have stilettos or not. I remember, but I cannot find it.
Yes.
So when my husband actually saw me today at the door, he said, wow, what's going on? Because he doesn't remember. But also you mentioned on your website, Op Sisters, right?
Op Sisters.
Op Sister,
That's
yeah.
the partnership that Shannon and I have together.
Yeah, and when you are talking about like your relationship and how you build the business and story, and also about your coaching program, and there was the words cultural transformation. So we now have a lot of different cultures in our societies, right? And I would like to know how you use this cultural transformation. What does it mean? How it's related to manufacturing? And I would like to know a little bit more about that.
Okay. So culture can be used very widely, but what you find within organizations is many subcultures, right? Like the culture of the marketing department might be different than the manufacturing department. And traditionally in manufacturing, the culture has been top down, where it's very hierarchical. The leaders run the show. They tell everybody every move to make. And there has been a concerted effort over the last couple decades to make it more inclusive. but there's still a lot of opportunity to take it to a more inclusive culture where people are asked to contribute, particularly people who add the value to the product and work the equipment and the facilities, to allow them to contribute with more than their hands, but with their heads and hearts as well. So that's what I talk about, a cultural transformation. And once you've transformed, you can't really go back. It's very hard to ask people to participate and contribute, and then all of a sudden say, you know what, we're going to go back to telling you what to do all the time. So that's why it's truly transformational. And it requires a lot of commitment and involves a lot of change for everybody, not just the people being asked the questions, but the people asking the questions, you know?
In different countries, people perceive women as a boss or businesswoman quite differently. And I have a friend, she works for quite a big American company, and she was sent to China. And she couldn't sleep all night. And she called me and said, I'm so I'm so scary because you know how they treat women. They're like, for them, man is the boss. And she came to give some lectures on some business topics. And I said, just relax, and just be normal, be like you are, and dress like properly. No bright makeup, whatever. So, and if they like you, they will treat you like a real man, like a boss. So next day she calls me. She was so happy because this conference and teaching went so well that they're just wow, like she got huge support from Chinese people. So I said, that's, I'm telling, like, be normal, be just like you, who you are, because you brought knowledge. And also take into consideration the tradition, the culture. So you cannot be dressed kind of different, but dress code, business code, it's always working. So just have something simple, but really kind of like business. And and that's why we're talking about this culture transformation. And I totally agree with you. But also what I noticed that in your program, in your coaching, you pay attention, a lot of attention about well-being of women and their time out from business, like at home, and also about time for themselves, relaxation, wine parties.
Yeah, we had a few of those.
Yeah. And so when I come to your city, I hope I will be invited to your real wine party.
Absolutely, 100%. My husband and I love wine, and we're always well stocked. So you let me know as soon as you get here, and we'll take good care of you.
Okay, great, agree. So we back to our subject about women in manufacturing and facing some obstacles for sure. Like, what would you advise women who start in the business or facing some obstacles? So kind of the most important thing you would say them.
The most important thing that I would say to someone, and you will face obstacles just as you do in all parts of your life, is that be your authentic self, face the realities of the situation that you're in, and let your results really speak for you and who you are and your ability to contribute to the business.
It's very important, and trust yourself, because I know so many cases when women were so close, not even women, but people were so close to success, and they stopped, and then somebody repeated the same steps and became more successful, taking into consideration mistakes of others, or probably they give up, and yes, and I think, and what do you think? It's still, do you have more obstacles as women, or it doesn't matter? It's the same obstacles. I mean, like any person can face.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of both. I can only speak to my experiences, and I worked at 4 major companies, and I never made the fact that I was a woman or the only woman at the table an issue. Sometimes others did, but I never really thought about it. I always felt like I deserved my seat at the table. So I always contributed. I always gave my opinion, even if it wasn't popular or didn't agree with my boss. But I do know that others have had different experiences. So where it's been a little bit more of an obstacle. So I think that, my experience may be common to many others and it may be different, but it's just really important to make sure you cultivate good relationships within the workplace. That was another reason we wrote the book. I was very supportive of Shannon and my whole team. But when I was growing up in manufacturing, I did not have female mentors. I had male mentors. And the females weren't even necessarily nice to me, the ones who had achieved executive levels. And so we really wanted to put a story out in the world, a true story about women supporting each other in the workplace. So I think it is very important to surround yourself with people who want to see you be successful, regardless of gender, title, that sort of thing, and support each other. I think that's really important, and no matter what types of obstacles that you will encounter.
We have expressions that you know about your friend, like if it's true friend or not friend, when you get into trouble. But also I have my own opinion or expression that actually you find out if it's true friend or not when you're becoming successful, when you get to success and you become famous, for example. So then actually only true friends are staying with you without saying like, something behind your back because they envy, and even
Right.
they were friends.
Right.
And and it's wonderful to have people, the true friends or true supporters. They never say, "Oh, I envy you," but I mean just a little bit, instead of saying, "I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you," And unfortunately, we don't have so many people we would like to have to support us. But again, it's probably it's good to build relationship with people whom you trust, who supports you, because it's your strength, gives you the opportunity to do what you do without any obstacles, because you have behind your back people said, do it, go ahead. Like, you're unique, just do it.
Absolutely.
Time is coming slowly to the end because I know you're very busy. What is the next step in your life, in your business? Because I know leader people, like leaders and business people, they never stop at one point when they achieve something. They always going ahead and wanting more and more. And what is if it's not a secret, what are you planning like next step?
Well, I am working on continuing with Shannon and our Op Sisters partnership. So, we're growing our client list. I'm growing my coaching coachees, right? And filling that portfolio as well. And I've started a partnership with a colleague of mine from Penn called HIPPO, Helping People, Helping Others. And it's for helping people with disabilities thrive in the workplace environment. And I'm working on a few more books, actually. I have 3 more books underway.
I was meant to ask you about this books. It's great. It's great because the books allows us to share our information with more people. And I see you very active in podcasts, in the radio shows, and it's great. So it means you bring in more help to people through medias, and it's wonderful. Thank you for coming to my podcast, and I hope we'll see again each other, even not virtually, but some way, sometime in the United States. Yeah, and it was a pleasure to meet you, Casey. So
you too, Olena. I look forward to meeting you in person.
And I know we have more to say because we usually like thinking how much we can say in our 30-minute session and do not be bored.
Right.
But yeah, and the more we know each other, of course, the more we can discuss and share our knowledge and skills. I know many women wants to have support and wants to know more. And that's why I'm sharing this information as much as I can to let people to know wonderful women in business and very brave leaders. So I wish you all the best. All the best.
Thank you so much, Olena. And I look forward to continuing the conversation with you.
Okay, Cassie, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
To cheer you up.
Oh, thank you. That was very thoughtful.
Yes. So have you ever been at virtual wine party?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
virtual.
have been. Yes, I have been at some virtual.
I have wine. And
Good
we
for
can,
you.
yeah, we can have a party, a wine party.
That's good for you. I just have all I have is tea today, cinnamon tea, but I love a virtual wine party. Yes, I have been to some virtual wine parties. Absolutely.
So I'm sure if we meet personally, I mean, somewhere in reality, we would have a lot of fun.
Oh, we would. We would over a good bottle of red. Or do you just like white?
I like white. I prefer white.
Okay, I'll get some of that stocked.
You know, I'll see my schedule because I need some vacation or whatever. I need some time to just go and enjoy myself. And even talking about business, who cares? We can talk about everything.
I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Thank you very much. So
thank you,
bye
Olena.
bye.
Take care. Enjoy that wine.
I will.
Okay.
Cheers.